One of the reasons the Heritage is so popular is that it's traditional. In the first Heritage, Scotland's beloved Laurie Ochterlony marched with the bagpipes, and each champion since then has joined the parade. The cannon roars, and another champion will be crowned.
CBS Sports proudly presents the PGA Tour from the Harbortown Golf Links on Hilton Head Island, South Carolina. CBS Sports presents the 1987 MCI Heritage Classic, sponsored by MCI, communications for the next 100 years. Mercury, the shape you want to be in. And by the investment firm of Smith Barney. They make money the old-fashioned way. They earn it.
Come away home with me, where the sun meets the sea, soft ocean breezes sing through the trees, and come away home with me, where the wind whispers that children can be what they want to be. In North Carolina, there's nothing much finer than you, gently calling to me. Come away home, Hilton Head's calling you home. Harbortown.
The Heritage Classic started in 1969 on the Pete Dye-designed Harbortown links. And it has a Hall of Fame list of winners. Arnold Palmer, Jack Nicklaus, Johnny Miller, Fuzzy Zeller, Hale Irwin, and Tom Watson. Impressive names, and they are here because the players just like the course. It has small greens and tight fairways, and it was first built. The only way to get here was by ferry. Today it's a busy resort, and the lighthouse is its trademark. Our coverage starts at 15. Now let's meet the gentleman who will be reporting today's final round action.
I'm Steve Melnick, and I'll be at the 15th hole, a 561-yard par 5. A true three-shot hole that's acknowledged by the players as being the best par 5 on tour.
I'm Gary McCord. I'll be covering the 13th hole, 363-yard par 4. I'll also be on the 16th hole, a par 4 of 373 yards. This hole is characterized by a large 130-yard waste bunker that lines the entire left-hand side of this fairway.
I'm Ben Wright. I'll be reporting the play from the 14th hole, a 168 yards par 3, and from the 17th hole, a 180 yards par 3, whose boomerang-shaped green has proved this week a most elusive target.
And I'm Pat Summerall. I'll be at 18, a 458-yard par 4, with marshes and the Calabogie Sound on the left, condominiums and out of bounds on the right. So obviously, accuracy off the tee is of the utmost importance. Now, let's check the leaderboard in the 1987 MCI Heritage Classic. Gene Sowers atop that leaderboard at minus 13, Howard Twitty, Mark Hayes, Steve Jones all at minus 11, and Floyd and Love at minus 10. Again, good afternoon. I'm Pat Summerall here with our CBS golf analyst Ken Venturi, resplendent today. And Ken, what about this tournament? What about this golf course makes it so special?
This is accepted, Pat, as one of the great golf courses around the top 10 without a doubt. Most players love it because it's narrow. It requires good golf shots. Today is breezy. But last week we had some high scoring. This week we have low scoring. But the reason being the greens are small, but they are soft and they're holding shots. So the record of 14 under may fall. But for a fine Sunday and an Easter Sunday, conditions could not be better.
And we, all of us at CBS, would like to say Happy Easter to all of you. Steve Jones, by the way, double bogeyed the 8th hole, and that's why he has bounced down that leaderboard slot a little bit. Gene Sowers is at minus 13, Hayes and Jones at minus 11, Twitty, Floyd, and Love at 10, but there's still a lot of golf left.
We're MCI. We've shrunk the world of communications. We've built a global highway the likes of which has never been seen. consolidating all your communications needs over the widest range of international voice, data, and messaging services, offering unsurpassed speed and reliability around the globe, around the clock. Imagine the roads we'll travel together in the future. Call MCI. MCI, communications for the next 100 years.
What's the hottest ball on tour?
You shake my nerves and you rattle my brain. Too much love drives a man insane. You broke my rhythm, but what a thrill. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire.
Max Fly, the ball with the DT8 stipple design that's moving the pros to the top of their game. And now there's a Max Fly for you, the new Tour Limited MD for maximum distance. So make your move. Move up to Max Fly.
Goodness gracious, great balls of fire.
Imagine entering your home through dramatic Peachtree doors. Imagine brightening your home with exquisite Peachtree windows. Then accenting it with Peachtree swinging patio doors and sliding patio doors. Peachtree insulated windows and doors are more beautiful in line, more beautiful in every detail. Next time, add something special to your home. Peachtree windows and doors.
Right now, I'd like to say welcome to Bert Roberts, who is the president of MCI Communications. It's MCI's first year of involvement here at the Heritage. How's it going so far, Bert?
It's really going well, Pat. I understand that we've shattered all the previous attendance records for this tournament and that the course is in better shape than it ever has been.
I certainly would second that. Any other thoughts?
Just that we'd like to thank Mike Stevens, the tournament director, and all of the volunteers that have helped make this year's MCI Heritage Classic a real success.
Well, thank you very much for being involved.
Thank you.
13th hole, John Cook for a birdie. Looks like it's pulled all the way, but it, yes, falls right in there. John gets to 8 under par. That was earlier, now live. There he is live. There's Bobby Watkins putting out for his par. We were checking, and I think that's a bogey there. D.A. Wybring. -3 for the day, -8 for the tournament. Having a very, very good golf tournament. There's a par for D.A. to remain -8. The 11-year veteran. One win, 1979 Quad Cities Open. Now at the 16th hole. First look at this dogleg left, 373-yard par 4. David Frost from 135 yards. That's the absolute perfect position to be from. He has got probably an 8-iron. David's -4 for the day, so having a great round. Indicative of that shot right there. 6, 8, 8, 10 high. Perfect position. Let's go to 17.
And Tom Kite for a birdie. Having a magnificent round, 5 under for the day. 8 under in all. There it goes. So he has now birdied the 1st, 2nd, 5th, 7th, 11th, 14th, and 17th holes. He goes 9 under par, and he's going to set a target. If he can just make another birdie at the 18th, he could really give them all an awful lot of work to do. This is Johnny Miller, who was bunkered in that bunker you see in your picture, to the right of the green. This is his attempt to save par. He's 2 over for the day, 2 under for the tournament. Nice to see him wielding a normal-sized putter with some considerable skill. And last of this trio, Chip Beck, is 2 under par just as he started, but we'll go over to the 13th.
It's 13th hole, 363 yards. Lanny's got it in the right forest. He's got that huge tree obviously right in front of him. This green is propped up by planks, so it's it's impossible to run this ball on the green. See what we can do with this. It's right underneath the planks in that bunker that surrounds the entire front of this green. Needless to say, that's not the position Laney wants to come in from, or any of the players today are going to want to come in from. Let's go to 14.
A first look at this most beautiful par 3 of 168 yards with D.A. Wybring on the tee with a 5-iron. Into the wind today. Seemed to have hooked that a little.
Good shot. Get on back there.
Flirting a little with the water, which is in front and all the way down the right-hand side of this green, and the flagstick placed just 4 yards from the right-hand edge of the green today and 18 yards back makes this a very tough target to get close to. There you see it. The water looms large on the right-hand side. And we'll go to the 13th.
Howard Twitty from the dead center of the fairway with a 9-iron. Howard's 4 under par for the day, -10 for the tournament. He hit that long 9-iron a long way. Let's go back to 14.
And the tee shot, Bobby Watkins, who is 4 under par at the moment, having started 5 under, and I fear that hit the pilings and went to its aquatic doom. That was a 5-iron shot for Bobby Watkins. To the 18th.
Just a moment ago, Greg Norman for birdie.
And that means he birdied 16, 17, and 18. What a way to finish. Started at 2 under par and winds up the tournament 7 under. Line 66 today. In fact, all 3 players made birdie.
He really is an amazing guy. A great human being. Gene Sowers leads at -13. Hayes and Jones at -11.
Where the sun meets the sea, soft.
If the tees could talk, they'd tell you which ball most of the pros all play. And here's what they'd tell you about this week's tournament. With numbers like these, they must know what they're talking about.
Who works at the electric company? How would you describe them?
Tall, with long arms so he could reach things, and regular ears and a regular nose.
The most important thing to know about your electric company is we're there when you need us.
I see your face and I just come upon. Don't know what to say, so I speak with my heart. Don't know what to do, but it was clear from the start. You got a look so bright, a child could find it in the dark. I got my reasons for loving you. Don't try to make me explain. I know I love you like I know my own name. Oh, love you. I got my reasons for loving. Oh, yes I do. Don't try
Mercury for 1987. Shaped to hold the road and to capture your heart.
like I know my own name. Oh, yeah. I got my reasons.
Mercury, the shape you want to be in.
They dazzle their way to the top of the league with a little bit of magic. They're the Los Angeles Lakers. The NBA playoffs begin next Saturday on CBS Sports.
The PGA Tour, where excitement is par for the course.
Here's where the excitement is this weekend in the MCI Heritage Classic. Gene Sowers at -13, the leader through 8. Hayes, Jones at -11. Twitty, Wiebe, and Love at 10. Kite, Floyd, Calcavecchia, Nelson, Hoke, and Murphy. And we go out to 13.
Where Howard Twitty's 9-iron ended up. Downhill chip. It's going to go a little to the right, but looks like he's got it up there safely for his par. Howard's -4 for the day and -10 for the tournament. 3 shots back at this position, playing with Lanny Watkins and Brett Upper. You see Brett in the background. Lanny looks like he's next to putt. And from the bunker where Lanny was in the right trees on his tee shot, this is his second shot. They're the planks that hold this green up. There's his third shot, a bunker shot that released well past the hole. He must not have had a very good lie there. Ball should have checked up a little bit better than that. He's got about a 20-footer here, 4 a par. -8 for the tournament, 3 under par for the day. Just misses to the left. He's back to 7. Let's go to 12.
Raymond Floyd, third shot from left of the 12th green. That is certainly a surprise, as so many players have commented on how easy most of the short game has become with this overabundance of ryegrass around all these greens. Fuzzy Zeller next to play. Fuzzy is struggling all day. He has dropped 3 shots to par today and is 3 under for the tournament. And the final member of the group is Mark Wiebe, who's enjoying a fine round. He is 3 under on his round today and 10 under in all. And now only 3 shots out of the lead held by Gene Sowers. We've just had an update. Gene Sowers has birdied the 9th hole. So he moves to 14 under and opens up a 2-shot margin over Steve Jones, who also made birdie at 9. But this is Floyd's 4th shot. This 12th hole, only 404 yards. It's a dogleg right with a serpentine type green, I guess you'd say. It's over 50 yards long from front to back. In a sense, it's 2 separate greens as we go to 13.
To the serpentine Howard Twitty. A couple of feet here, 3 feet for his par. He made it -10. 13-year pro, Phoenix, Arizona. Let's go to the 12th hole.
Zeller for par now. Fuzzy with a new putter, but doesn't seem to be using it any better than the one that he got rid of at Augusta. But he saves one here. Fuzzy just trying to get to the house. Absolutely gorgeous Easter Sunday here on Hilton Head. Kind of weather players expect, and that's why they get such a tremendous field here. The weather plus this magnificent Harbor Town golf course attracts the best the PGA Tour can offer, and they are responding as well. Wiebe could pull within 3 of Gene Sowers. To 14.
And now Howard Twitty on the tee at the 14th hole. 168 yards largely into the wind. He's got a 6-iron at the moment. Having a little doubts maybe. No, he's settled for it, and he is 10 under par at the moment. Four under for his round today. Hang on. Ooh. And it just does indeed hang on the very edge of the green there.
It was just a week ago that Larry Mize stunned the golf world with that incredible shot to win the Masters. But all the excitement and the hustle and bustle of that championship and that victory has subsided. And our man Bob Drum found himself with some time on his hands.
Hilton Head is a beautiful place. So relaxing, so peaceful. It makes you want to lay back and dream a little. And I've got some wild ones.
It's Drum at the helm, foiling all contenders to win the America's Cup.
It's Drum in the U.S. Open final to serve.
It's an ace. I defeat Lendl for the title.
It's Drum and Sugar Ray Leonard for the world's middleweight crown. No contest.
But never in my wildest dreams could I ever imagine this.
You know, I hit the shot and I couldn't have hit it any better. It looked pretty good halfway the hole, and it got closer and closer. I wasn't going to move until it went in the hole. As soon as it went in the hole, I just exploded. In my wildest dream, I thought I would win the Masters. Not in that fashion.
But for every good dream, there's a bad one. And for Greg Norman, it's a recurring nightmare. First, it was last year's PGA Championship. Greg Norman led the tournament for 3 rounds, but Bob Tway snagged the shark on the last hole of play. Then Mize pulls out his Masters miracle. But Norman's nightmares won't put a damper on his dreams.
I guess my greatest dream would be to have a 10-shot lead playing the 18th at Augusta on the 72nd day. 72nd hole.
The Mize miracle. Can't top that dream. Well, maybe I can. It's Drum here on this lush, deserted island. Just me. And them.
Bob Drum, for the 10th and final time, will you take out the trash?
I'm Bob Drum.
As you can see, I have a large and adoring fan club. To show how much I appreciate their good taste, I'm throwing them an A&W root beer float party. Now, the first thing you do is flip in your ice cream. Then you pour in your rich, creamy A&W root beer. Now you kids try it. Just because they have good taste don't mean they have good aim. Pour yourself an A&W root beer float.
We Scots invented the game of golf, and then you Yanks got a hold of it. First you changed the clubs, and then you changed the balls, but now you've gone too far. Aye. These new atomic lights, with the wee padded tongue and collar and the cushioned insole, they're comfortable. Aye. Golf shoes should be uncomfortable. They should hurt. Aye. So be warned. Bring over them atomic lights and you'll answer to the Stewart's call.
Etonic golf shoes.
They're comfortable.
At Raytheon Company, we believe that success comes from mastering the fundamentals. That's why we admire people like Tom Kite. People who are dedicated to perfecting the fundamentals, practicing them day in and day out until they become second nature. So whether it's in electronics, aviation, appliances, or energy, Raytheon works hard on the fundamentals. Because at Raytheon, we believe quality starts with fundamentals.
Introducing a new riding mower with the tightest turning radius in its class. And yet the sort of heavy-duty transaxle and powerful overhead valve engine you'd expect to find only on commercial equipment. Introducing the new John Deere Riders. Nothing runs like them because nothing's built like them.
Gene Sowers at -14.
Look at this.
Steve Jones -12. We were just reacting to Tom Kite's shot out of the marsh, the tall grass at the 18th hole. He got that close with his third.
He was coming in here with par for 65, too.
Out to 14.
Howard Twitty just a few moments ago. A very fair example of a perfect lag putt. He will remain at 10 under par, and we'll go to the 13th.
There's Mark Wiebe from the fairway. Mark is 3 under par for the day. Minus 10 for the tournament. Those are not fake birds in the background. Those are real birds singing on this beautiful Easter Sunday. Mark's plenty back of that tree. He'll just hit this ball right over the top of it. Probably's got an 8-iron, maybe a 9. Kind of peaceful out here. I think he should have hit a 9-iron. Playing with Mark is Ray Floyd and Fuzzy Zeller. There's Raymond. Bird's getting louder. Raymond also has an 8-iron. About 20-25 feet past the hole. And now the last member of this group, Fuzzy Zeller, right dead in the middle of the fairway, probably hitting a 9-iron. With the incessant chatter of that bird. Boys aren't putting a whole lot of spin on the ball today. It's a little downwind. Let's go to 12.
The birdies at 10 and 11. Calcavecchia has this for 3 in a row. Yes, sir. So Calcavecchia pulls within 3 of the lead. Off to an incredible start this year. 7th on the money list. 218.
Just finishing a minute ago, Tom Kite, Johnny Miller, and Chip Beck. And Kite with a miraculous par here at 18 to finish up with a round of 65. Back to 15.
G.A. Wybring, third shot from about 125 yards. Well, he's on, but that's about it. And this may be the smallest green on tour. And as we talked about earlier, this has been voted by the players as the best par 5 on tour. 561 yards, and to our account, no player has actually put it on the putting surface in 2. Bobby Watkins now with his third shot. Bobby coming off a double bogey at 14. From about 90 yards. There's not much that can be said for that. Bobby not pleased, obviously, having dropped 3 shots to par on his round today, but he has to like that one. Let's enjoy it again. It's the kind of shot as you walk closer to the green, the ball still gets close to the hole. So let's go to 13.
Mark Wiebe for a birdie chip. They're trying to make these. They're always trying to make these, especially on the speed of green, which is just perfect for him. Mark is having a really, really good tournament. 4th year pro. Lives in Colorado now. Let's go to 15 while they're cleaning up.
And clean up he did. Bobby threatened to win L.A. earlier in the year, only to let Chin and Crenshaw contend in the playoff. It's not won on our tours, won twice abroad. To 13.
25-year veteran. Number 2 in the putting stats last year. Got about a 20-footer. And number 2, let's see, we'll give this one 3-1. 20, 25 feet, 3-1. That's pretty good odds for a guy who puts this good. Never bet on Easter Sunday. Raymond remained 8 under par, 1 under for the day. He'll go for him coming in. He's got to get a bunch of them here in a hurry. And the festive one, Fuzzy Zeller, not having a very festive day. +3 for the day, -3 for the tournament, for birdie. Pretty much. Boom. Obviously, it's been going like that. Wonder who putter he gives that putter to today. He is a beauty, sports fans. He is a beauty. No odds on this putt. To remain, -10. 4 shots out of the lead. Mark Wiebe. 25th in the money list last year with $260,000. Heck of a year. Let's go to 12.
Bob Murphy's second shot. From about 145 yards. Murphy enjoyed an incredible round yesterday when he made 9 birdies. And now, Jay Haas live. That was Bob Murphy moments ago. Jay got off to a quick start, got to 9 under, and is now dropped back to 7. Jay coming off a 7th place finish at Augusta last week as we go to 13.
This is interesting. After 3 straight, that is what we call a swing back and gouge it. It's also what we call way over the green. Mark had his ball just on the upside of that bunker, which you don't want to get anywhere near, and he has to go up the stand of oak trees that are probably 40 foot tall. And you just hit it and hope you get over the trees. There's where you want to be, right where Joe Inman is. He's got an 8-iron. The pin is just cut over those planks. Now, you don't want to be short because the ball can go in the next county if it hits those planks. Just on the back edge of the green. Now let's go to 14.
On the tee, Mark Wiebe, 168 yards, par 3. Wiebe's had a very solid round, and there's a solid 6-iron shot he's hit there. 3 birdies, no bogeys, back to the 13th.
And there's Mac O'Grady, way up the fairway, hitting a nice little wedge. Whoa. See, they're all going. Let's go to 14.
Fuzzy Zeller's tee shot on its way. Looking a bit anxiously, but he needn't have bothered. Fuzzy 3 over for the day, 3 under for the tournament. Birdied the second hole, but bogeyed the first and the 8th, and double bogeyed the 5th, which derailed him. And the last member of this trio is Ray Floyd, who is 1 under par for the day, 8 under in all. Birdies the 3rd, 9th, and 10th holes, bogeys the 11th and 12th, and there you see how the hole is played. 57 birdies, 32 bogeys, and it's a 6-iron for Ray Floyd. Raymond had it 10 under par through the 10th hole. Just stays up on the bulwark. And then he bogeyed the 11th and 12th holes to derail himself, and we'll go to the 12th.
Murphy for birdie. The magic that he used yesterday, obviously not here today. Murph began the day at 8 under and is still there. But Gene Sowers, the local favorite, now has a 1-shot margin over Steve Jones. Mark Calcavecchia, only 3 back.
There's one communications giant that's earned the business of nearly 1 million American companies of all sizes, including almost all the Fortune 500. One giant that created better products like an innovative 800 service and customized watts, offering business unequaled flexibility, reliability, and savings. No, it's not AT&T, it's MCI. Call MCI. MCI, communications for the next 100 years.
I'm ready. Got it all going for me, leaving nothing to chance. Nothing. Gonna get those extra yards. Make this baby bite. Got my mind set on winning. Here we go. Hide your wallets, boys.
Ultra. It's long. It bites. It's tough to beat. Ultra by Wilson.
Feeling good about yourself. Feeling carefree. Much more flavor than ever before. It's more flavor, Carefree.
Carefree gum now has more flavor. It's like no other sugar-free.
There's a great new feeling with Carefree sugarless gum. It's got more flavor than ever, and now tests prove that chewing Carefree after snacking actually helps fight cavities.
Feeling good about yourself. Feeling Carefree.
The season has ended. Now the suspense begins. Take an inside look at the upcoming NFL Draft with John Madden next Saturday on CBS Sports.
On Easter Sunday, you go try to find your Easter eggs. In Michael Grady's case, you try to find your golf ball. That was on tape, otherwise I wouldn't have called it like that. Let's go to 15.
Howard Twitty for 90 yards. Okay, 20 at 10 under to 13.
Joe Winman, +2 for the day, -5 for the tournament. A very good tournament for a guy that's not playing on the tour regular anymore. About the same position that Mac just chipped in from. Joe was doing some work, putting some golf courses together and just taking it easy for a while. Last member of this group is Mark Calcavecchio, who hit that flyer to the underneath the stand. While we're waiting, let's go to 14.
That's Fuzzy Zilla. Not getting a birdie. So he will remain at 3 over for the day, 3 under for the tournament. Defending champion had a good run until today, to the 12th.
This is Davis Love, second shot. From 130 yards. He's so much more than just a long driver. Just turned 23 years old last week. Meanwhile, here at 15, Twitty for birdie, looking for his first tournament win in 7 years. Not to be as we go back to 12. That's Hale Irwin's shot on the way. And that's very good. Irwin began the day at 8 under and remains there. And now Scott Hoke, who's dropped 2 shots to par, is now at 9 under. To 14.
Mark Calcavecchia after his free drop. Good looking pitch out there, about 5-6 feet away. Towers here are considered immovable obstructions, so you get line of sight relief from that. Let's go to 14.
That was Raymond Floyd making a very nice par. And earlier, Mark Wiebe putting for his birdie at 10 under par. Ay, ay, ay. That is hard to bear, because he would have been only 3 shots off the lead had that one obliged. Back to the 13th.
And there you can see Mark, 26-year-old, 7th year pro. Won the Honda Classic this year. 3 shots out of the lead right now. He's got to get some birdies here and post it and see if the 2 youngsters can make a run at him. I'm calling a 26-year-old an old guy. How am I doing? They're all about the same age, 28, 28, and 26. Mark's going to be featured on one of our new breed segments later in the year. This is for a par. And he can flat fire. That is a great 4 right there. That might get him going right there. Remains at 11 under par. 3 shots out of the lead. He's got a lot of tools. Back in the fairway here. We've got Murph on the right side. Murph always hangs around the right side of the fairway, playing it from left to right. Venture to guess he's probably got a 7-iron. It's got a little flyer. It's going to be very tough to get this ball close. That pin is cut right against those pilings.
Over.
How about that yesterday?
Where's those 9 birdies when you need them, right?
They're right there on the graphic, Murph. Take a look at them. He's not getting paid to talk today, so he's not going to say anything. Let's go to 14.
Mac O'Grady. 7-iron for this immensely powerful player. Perhaps should have used a 6. Over to the 12th.
Irwin now for a birdie that would move him to 9 under. 2-time winner here. That's one you'd like to have over. To 14.
Mark Calcavecchia, 11 under par. Having a rock-solid round. This is a 6-iron shot from Mark, who has never played in this event before, and he's making a fantastic debut. 4 birdies today, no bogeys. Birdies at the 6th, 10th, 11th, and 12th holes. We'll go over to the 12th hole.
That's Herman Mitchell helping Davis Love look over his putts. Herman is as famous as some of the players out there. Herman's caddied for Miller Barber and Lee Trevino. There you get a good look at Herman. You see something in Davis Love he saw in Miller Barber, and he saw in a different way with Trevino. That's beautiful Calabogie sound and Balfusky Isle in the background. How can you argue with weather like this? Davis bogeyed his 10th hole, birdied the 11th hole, and this would move him into a tie for 3rd place. Works hard on his routine and sticks with it. And we'll be back with more golf action from the Harbortown Golf Links after this message and a word from your local station.
Out here, you need more than a cut-proof ball. You need the cut-proof Titleist 384 DT. Because inside this cut-proof cover is what makes Titleist #1 on tour. Consistent distance and accuracy right down to the core. Lowering your scores may only require raising your sights. The cut-proof Titleist 384 DT.
Tonight on CBS, Robert Conrad, his real-life sons, Shane and Christian. High Mountain Rangers.
This is CBS.
A special golf tip from Tom Kite from the special bankers at Texas American.
More and more on a lot of Texas golf courses, you're finding a situation where they're growing an awful lot of high grass right up next to the green, and you're not able to play a normal chip shot. In a case like that, what you need to do is play a shot similar to a bunker shot. You open up your stance, keep the club face pointed at the target, take the club high to the outside, cutting across it, hitting a couple inches behind the ball. It works every time.
This is it, your last chance to get Buick cash back of up to $1,200. Up to $1,200 cash back on selected Buick models ends Thursday, April 30th. $1,200 on Buick's bestseller Century. $1,200 on the Lean and Agile Somerset. $1,200 on the full-size LeSabre and other Buick models. Or until April 30th, you can still get GMAC financing as low as 3.9%. Length of finance contract is limited. So see your North Central Texas Better Buick dealer today.
For experience that counts, turn to Channel 4 News tonight on the Weekend Report.
The leaderboard in the MCI Heritage Classic of 1987 reads like this. Gene Sowers top at -13. Steve Jones -12. Mark Calcavecchia and Davis Love now tied at -11. This broadcast, by the way, is brought to you by the authority of the PGA Tour. Any rebroadcast or any use of the televised material without the express written consent from the Commissioner's Office of the PGA Tour is prohibited. Sowers, the leader, at -13. We go to 14.
And the group of Mac O'Grady, you see pacing Joe Inman and Mark Calcavecchia. Mac O'Grady started the day at 7 under par, got it to 8 under. Birdied the 2nd, 11th, and 13th holes, but bogeyed the 4th and the 6th. And it will be Mac's first putt for birdie. Having a very good tournament. Rounds of 70, 68, 68. Rock solid. Of course, going to the left-handed mode for putting. Probably one of McCord's to the 12th.
The final threesome of the day just coming into view. It's Mark Hayes. Will be playing from 160 yards. Now he is in the left rough, as you can see, and he does not have a clear shot to the flagstick. If he can hook it, or just skirt the left edge of these pines, he might be able to put it in the vicinity of the flagstick. Well, the problem's obvious. The result's the same. So Hayes, who's dropped a shot to par today, is now at 10 under. And he is 3 shots out of the lead, as both Gene Sowers and Steve Jones coming off bogeys at 11. Steve Jones next to play. He came to the MCI Heritage Classic as the 4th alternate. When he got here, he assumed he would be in the tournament since he won the Q School qualifier this past fall, but so many good players decided to play, he had to wait till Tony Sills dropped out on Tuesday afternoon before he knew he was in the field. And of course, he is the new face in our new breed this week as well. So quite a story this week for Steve Jones. ...130 yards away, probably a pitching wedge. Oh, what a good shot that was. This week at the MCI Classic, they're playing for $650,000. First place prize, $117,000 to 14.
And that was a very rare occurrence for Mark Calcavecchia, who's such a great putter. He's having to be content with his 4th par 3 here at the 14th as we go back to the 12th.
Sowers, where he's been all week, in the heart of the fairway. So Gene Sowers still maintains that 1-shot margin over Steve Jones. Mark Calcavecchia and young Davis Love now tied for 3rd.
Profound than words. Diamonds. These men and women play golf for a living, off the tee and on the fairway. The one wood they all depend on isn't a wood at all. It's a tailor-made metal wood. They agree that with TaylorMade, they hit the ball longer, and that can help them win more tournaments and more money, which is the name of the game when you're a tour professional, like Lee Trevino. The pros play TaylorMade to win.
So, what are you waiting for?
Here, Doris. Got a meeting in Davenport. Be back tomorrow.
Once upon a time, a businessman figured out a brand new way to travel.
Afternoon. Car's broke down a couple miles back. Gonna miss a big meeting in Davenport. That's so. Could you, fly me there and back?
Let me get this straight. You want me to fly you there, sit there and wait for you while you have this meeting, then fly you back?
Since then, the Friendly Skies has flown a whole lot of business people. We found it pays to listen to them.
Thanks for flying me. Next time, maybe you could have some coffee on board.
You're not just flying. Let me get this straight. You want coffee on the plane while we're in the flying the Friendly Skies.
Minutes ago, Howard Twitty, -10 for the tournament. 3 shots out of the lead right now with an 8-iron. He'll have that right there to get to -11. Back on 13, we have a player, I don't know who he is right there. Got to work on his outfit. There to the left, Davis Love. He's got a wedge. He's probably got about 135, 40 yards. He's got to hit it, obviously, up in the air, because there's something there in front of him that has foliage all over it. definitely up. How did they get out? That's incredible. Just a nice little wedge. And here comes Howard Twitty's birdie putt live. Let's go back to the 12th hole.
Sowers for birdie. Gene just burned the edge. Here's 15. That's Fuzzy for birdie. It's not hard to tell he's a crowd favorite. Earlier, this is Raymond Floyd's 4th shot. In trouble off the tee. Meanwhile, back at 12, this is Marquez. This is for par. Oh, what a save that was. Can't afford to make any more bogeys. He's 3 shots out of the lead. Mark. Steve Jones has this to tie Sowers. There you can see how the scores are becoming bunched up at the top. It remains for someone to separate himself from the rest. Sowers burned the right lip and Jones the left. Disappointing par for Steve Jones here at 12. Meanwhile, here at 15, this is Weeby's short putt for birdie. So Weeby moves into a tie for 3rd. Weeby's 4 under on his round today. To 13.
There's Davis Love the 3rd. Nice little pitch shot. Beautiful little shot. Couple feet away. Two shots back of the lead. Currently held by Gene Sowers. Let's go to the 15th hole.
Now this is Floyd for par now. This was moments ago. So Raymond with a hard fought par. He's 8 under, but not the kind of final round he'd hoped for. To 13.
There you get our first look at the teeing area. What they're going to do is, let's see what Mark's got. He's probably got a 3-wood the way that ball's teed down, or a 1-iron. He's got a 1-iron. Keep it to the right-hand side. Got to keep it right center of this fairway because there's large trees and a bunker on the left-hand side. To the right, it will open up to the green. Pin is cut in the left-hand side of the green, so the farther right you are, the better. Mark plays strictly right to left. The way you swung at that, it's got to be the right. You might have a shot over there. Bad thing about this green is we told you before, it is propped up in the front by planks with a bunker surrounding the front of the green. So anywhere in the trees, you cannot run the ball in the green. Here's Steve Jones, 6'4" 4th-year player. Very, very strong. He won $51,000 last year on the tour. Went back to the tour school where he shot 17 under par at the dreaded and much feared PGA West. Good looking swing there. Looks like he's still very, very aggressive, so I don't think that this position he's in right now is bothering him at all. Gene Sowers also with the 1-iron. This is a good golf swing. This is a really good golf course for this guy. Hits the ball very straight, stays in control of himself. 24 years old. The whole leaderboard here is filled with 24-year-olds, 23-year-olds, 26-year-olds. Probably going a little left. Like I said, left center. He'll have plenty of room to get over those trees and on this green. Now let's go back up on the green. Scott Hoke. I'm going to guess that's for a par. He's -9 2 over for the day. Scott Hoke remains at 9 under par. Gene Sowers, 13 under par, 1-shot lead over Steve Jones, and a trio at 11 under par.
Oh, our CBS golf analyst, Ken Venturi, with another Stroke Saver, sponsored by MCI. Communications for the next 100 years.
The average player finds himself in a bunker. They survey the situation, and right away they panic. The hole is cut very close to the edge. They try to get cute with it. You know what they do? They dig into it, they leave it in the bunker, it rolls back in the hole, and right away you find yourself making 6s and 7s when you could have walked away with a bogey. The shot's not that difficult. It's a very gentle shot. You don't hit it hard. What you want to do is you want to slip the club underneath the ball. Pretend the ball is sitting on the tee. Don't worry about hitting 2 inches behind the ball or how hard it's down into the ball. Just take the tee and clip it out from under the ball. This is a very delicate shot. Because you're in the bunker doesn't mean you have to take a hard swing. It's very soft and it's very slow motion. Plant your feet and just visualize that the ball is sitting on the tee. And don't hurry the shot. What I want you to do first is practice getting on the green, then practice getting close, and after a while, you may make one.
This man is making a $4 billion phone call. That's what MCI has invested in just the past 4 years. To build the most modern coast-to-coast network, including the world's highest capacity fiber optic link, to assure you unsurpassed voice and data transmissions. Call MCI. We spend so you can save. MCI. Communications for the next 100 years.
We're back at the 14th hole. This delightful looking but very threatening par 3. With the wind in the players' faces today, there you see the terrors that can lurk here. Alligator-infested water in front and all the way down the right-hand side. We're with Davis Love. And I imagine he'll have probably a 6-iron. Yes, indeed he has a 6-iron. Not the kind of golf course that you would think would suit his power game, but he's harnessing that power very well indeed. On his second appearance at Harbour Town, tied for 41st place last year. And safely on the island, pin high, and back to the 13th.
And there you see Gene Sowers, our current leader, just in the left rough. The only problem he's going to have here, there won't be any problem with the trees, it's just stopping the ball close to that flag. It's got an 8-iron. Look for this ball in the back of the green somewhere. Whoa, not too far back. He's just in a grass bunker back there. He's got plenty of green to work with, a little down the hill on his next shot. So far this year, 13 starts. He's 10 cuts, $84,000. 33rd position. Off to a really, really good start after a $200,000 year last year. And only 24 years old. His future's so bright he's going to have to wear shades. Here's Steve Jones. There you can see his stats. Fourth-year player. Had a heck of a time getting to the qualifying school. Qualified, had to go to the school most of the early 80s. 81 through 86. Finally looks like he's gotten off to a position now he's getting comfortable with, and will be a very good player. 9-iron shot, perfect position. There's a good shot. Only got one pin high there. 15 feet away.
How you doing? Thanks.
Back on 16. Mark Weeby a second ago. Good looking shot. 7-iron, 155 yards. Let's go to 14.
That's the tee shot on its way from Hale Irwin into trouble to the left of this green. That was a 5-iron shot. Back to the 16th.
Raymond Floyd. Dead center of the fairway. The guys will take just about anything off this tee. Anything you get in the fairway is close to that large waste bunker, a 130-yard expanse of nothingness that's to the left that goes all the way to the front of this green. You can see it right there. Waste bunker is just kind of a waste bunker. You can go in, you can do anything you want. You have a picnic in it. It's not maintained, so you get some funny lies. So let's stay up on this fairway here. Right at it, just good looking shot. About 12, 15 feet away. And let's go back to 14. Let's go back to the 13th hole. We have our leader, Gene Sowers, moving some cables that go up to our tower right there. You can see he's got about 30 feet to the front of the green, or to the back of the green, excuse me, and then it's going to be downhill to the green from there. There's too much grass in here to play a pitch and run, so he's going to have to pitch this ball onto the green. Looks like he's got a sand wedge. It's not a very good lie here. A lot of grass between him and the ball, so this ball's not going to bite very fast. He'll try to hit this as high as he can. Just landed on the front of this green, about 3 or 4 feet on the green. Let the ball go downhill to the flag. Caught it just a little heavy out of that lie. He's going to have some work to maintain that one-shot lead over Steve Jones. Let's go to 15.
Long birdie bid for Calcavecchia. He is all around the hole, but with that par at 15, he could pull within a shot of the lead for 13.
Marquez on the extreme right-hand side of this green. Minus 10, 3 shots out of the lead. A couple of feet from the hole. Mark is 15th year on the tour. Started with me in the qualifying school in 1973, which seems like 40 million years ago. There's a look at Steve Jones, but I believe Gene Sowers is next to putt. And at the 16th hole, we have Raymond Floyd doing a little war dance there. His 12-footer went by the hole. Back at the 13th hole, Gene Sowers for his par. Steve Jones has got it 15 feet from the hole for a birdie. He is one shot back. Nope, nope. So Gene Sowers at the moment is going to be tied with Steve Jones. And given the opportunity, let's see what Steve can do with this. First of all, Mark Hayes is outside of Steve. No, never mind, he isn't. This is a very, very good putting stroke. His arms hang straight down. A tall man. He'll move nothing but his arms. For the lead. Beautiful. And the kids are all trying to get at it right now. Earlier, Mark Wiebe for a birdie to move in a very good position at 12 under par. Mark Hayes for his par, and it's getting real crowded here with Steve Jones one-shot lead over a trio of players. Let's go to 14.
And the birdie opportunity of Davis Love the third. Boom! So he goes to 12 under par. We have a tremendous horse race developing. Jones at 13, Wiebe, Love and Sowers at 12 under par. Calcavecchia at 11 under par. Howard Twitty going to the 18th hole at 10 under par. A tremendous finish in store.
Heritage, a legacy carried through generations. MCI presents A Heritage of Champions. Each year, the game's legacy is celebrated at the MCI Heritage Classic. Past champions like Arnold Palmer, Jack Nicklaus, Tom Watson, Bernhard Langer, and Fuzzy Zeller renew the spirit of golf's past. In 1987, MCI proudly joins them in furthering the tradition.
We're MCI. We've shrunk the world of communications. We've built a global highway the likes of which has never been seen, consolidating all your communications needs over the widest range of international voice, data, and messaging services, offering unsurpassed speed and reliability around the globe, around the clock. Imagine the roads we'll travel together in the future. Call MCI. MCI, communications for the next 100 years.
Lowering your scores may only require raising your sights. 384 DT, the cut-proof Titleist.
How long does a John Deere last?
How long does a John Deere last? How long does a John Deere last? Well, that's a good question.
There are many ways to end the paperwork overload. You can blow it off, dump it on someone else, or blow it away for good. But the best solution is Radio Shack's high-speed, high-capacity Tandy 1000 SX. It's PC compatible and comes with a monitor and a 20-megabyte hard disk that stores over 5,000 pages of information. The highly acclaimed Tandy 1000 SX, a complete hard disk system for only $15.99 at Radio Shack.
They're on a mission to defend their championship, ignited by a superstar named Bird. They're the Boston Celtics. See them next Sunday in playoff action on CBS Sports.
In the MCI Heritage Classic of 1987, Steve Jones now. has taken the lead by 1 over Mark Wiebe, Davis Love, Gene Sowers. We go to 14.
That's the tee shot of Steve Jones, the leader at 13 under par. And very much left. Now over at the 17th hole, this is Mark Wiebe. But at least he's on the putting surface, and it's not easy to achieve that feat. Now back at the 14th, we've got Mark Hayes at 10 under par. Six iron for Mark, needing to make something happen quickly. And that gives him an opportunity. Virtually straight putt for a birdie. The other member of the trio is Gene Sowers. Just ran into that bogey. It created a 2-stroke swing, and there you see what has happened to him. Very nice things here. 2-2-2 on the previous days. And he too has a 6-iron. Wind in the players' faces. Another good shot. Mark Hayes will be able to go to school on his putt. And now we go over to the 17th, the par 3 of 180 yards for Ray Floyd's tee shot.
I love it. Go in the hole, baby, one time.
And it was a very good shot indeed that Raymond played. Floyd at 8 under par. There you see it from above, this gorgeous hole that Pete Dye fashioned out of the swampland, and there you see how cruelly it has played over the first 3 days, when it was the 3rd most difficult hole on the golf course, yielding only 25 birdies. And the players approach the green. That is a beguiling combination of all the elements of nature. We have a lot of bird song here, and the fish are jumping, and the cotton is high, and the no-see-ums are invisible. And we'll go back to the 14th. And Steve Jones looking anxiously, as well he might, from left of the green. Just a slender 1-stroke lead after that 2-stroke swing. Gene Sowers and Mark Hayes poised for much more realistic birdie opportunities. Steve Jones has really held himself together very well, though. He had an early bogey at the 3rd hole, which offset a birdie at the 2nd. Then it all went nicely. He birdied the 9th and 10th, but then bogeyed the 11th and 13th. But the double bogey at the 8th was the thing that he really had to put behind him, and he's obviously done it very well. Let's go to the 18th.
Hard 20 for par. He was over the green, hit a very poor chip pass to here. And look, yeah, good save there, Pat.
A good solid par. He finishes -10. Shoots 67. Back to 14.
And Steve Jones is finally ready to putt for, you might say, a birdie, but I'm sure he'd be very happy to put a 3 on the card, just as he has done on the 3 previous days. Anything within 2-3 feet will be very gratefully accepted, I'm sure. Really took a run at that one. That's very courageous. Meanwhile, at the 17th hole, Mark Wiebe has this putt to tie the lead, and he's not going to make it. He couldn't come much closer. He's played a magnificent round today, has Wiebe. 5 birdies, no bogeys. Birdies the 2nd, 6th, 9th, 15th and 16th holes. And he will remain just one off the lead as we go back to the 14th. And Gene Sowers, who's on an identical line to Mark Hayes, has the first shot, and he'd be much happier if Mark Hayes was going to show him the line. There's not an awful lot of swing on this green. That's a feature of the greens here. No wild contours. A little more pace, I think he might have held the line. And back over at the 17th, Ray Floyd, thoroughly disgusted, as well he might be, because his chance is gone. He had it 10 under through 10 holes and has just gone back, and now he's at 8 under par, where he will stay. Mark Hayes will see whether he has learned from Sowers' putt that died to the right. If he is to have a realistic chance, he must make this one. Nope. It's almost an identical putt. So he will remain at 10 under par and virtually doomed to be in a bridesmaid's role, which he has had for too long, for 10 years now, since he won the TPC. Now Steve Jones, who seems to be handling himself very well, very calm and collected, smiling, had a real crack at that one. Now this to remain the leader.
Oh boy.
Very nicely done. Looking pretty resolute right now. And we'll be back with more golf action from the Harbour Town Golf Links after this word from your local station.
Wednesday, George Benson sings, but Mike Hammer rewrites the score when Broken Hearts
Gold Dust Records was started by a numbers runner, a pimp, and a prostitute.
and Stolen Money lead to murder.
Interesting story.
Then,
Higgins, please answer. You're in big trouble.
and he's not alone when 3 kids wanted for murder aim for Magnum. And a dead cop and deadly drugs.
We're talking big money.
Dirty money.
Push the Houston Knights right to the edge. Wednesday on CBS.
This is CBS. This is it. Your last chance to get Buick cash back of up to $1,200. Up to $1,200 cash back on selected Buick models ends Thursday, April 30th. $1,200 on Buick's bestseller Century. $1,200 on the lean and agile Somerset. $1,200 on the full-size LeSabre and other Buick models. Or until April 30th, you can still get GMAC financing as low as 3.9%. Length of finance contract is limited. So see your North Central Texas Better Buick dealer today.
Up north, a bologna is just a bologna. But down south, people take the time to taste and enjoy good food. Maybe up north, life is just too hectic. But down south, people prefer the taste of Bryant by as much as 2 to 1. Not just over the North's leading bologna, but as much as 2 to 1 over every leading southern bologna. Bryant, it just plain tastes better.
Happy Easter from Channel 4.
The MCI Heritage Classic is sponsored by Wilson Sporting Goods Company. Where there's a will, there's Wilson. FootJoy Golf Shoes. The shoes 8 out of 10 pros walk to work in every day. And by McDonnell Douglas. making breakthroughs in aerospace and information systems.
Third shot of Davis Love from about 100 yards away. This is a fine play, but it's not too much. Davis, who carries 3 wedges in his bag, looked to pick the pitching wedge. Carries a 1-iron, no 2-iron, 3 through 9, and 3 wedges. But that was a well-played shot. And let's go to 18 and Pat Summerall.
This Saturday on CBS, John Madden will take a look at the upcoming NFL draft. That'll begin at 3 o'clock Eastern Time. Will be followed by Game 2 in the Western Conference Playoff Series between the Denver Nuggets and the Los Angeles Lakers. That game begins at 3:30. John Madden first, the NBA after that. Saturday on CBS.
And now a look at the PGA Tour's new breed. Here's CBS Sports' Gary McCord.
While most of the attention of the golf world was focused in Augusta last week at the Masters Championship, a few hundred miles away in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, a PGA Tour event was being held. One of the participants of that event, the 1986 qualifying school winner, was Steve Jones. He would have preferred to be at the Masters, of course, but without an invitation, Jones was just happy to be playing somewhere.
We know that you have to play, either win a tournament or qualify some other way. You have to play good to get into the Masters. So it's something everybody at Hattiesburg is trying to do.
Raised in Yuma, Colorado, Jones started playing golf at age 12. He didn't take lessons. Jones says he learned what he could from reading golf magazines. He received a scholarship from the University of Colorado and was named All-America in 1981. He earned his playing card later that fall, but an injured thumb knocked him out of the 1982 season. He returned to competitive play in 1983, playing mostly satellite tournaments, where he enjoyed moderate success. In 1985, he just missed finishing in the top 125 money winners, so he had to return to the qualifying school in 1986 and finish first. He was tied for the lead after 2 rounds at Phoenix this year and led the best field of the year after 2 rounds at the Tournament Players Championship 3 weeks ago. He finished 15th and won $16,000.
Right when I was 12 years old, I just, right away in my heart, I knew that this is what I wanted to do.
When you're having your best round of golf, what do you do best during that round?
Usually it's making the par putts, you know, the ones you have from 6 to 10 feet that you normally don't make. And when you do make them, you usually have a good round of golf.
Ken Venturi, let's take a look at Steve's swing.
Because he taught himself, he carries the club in his right hand in the palm of his hand, and not very good, but he's 6'4", and he squats on the ball quite a bit. But look at this, high, now he drops it right into position, and he stays flexed, never coming out of there. Driving with the right side, right knee, staying down and under as he goes through the ball. Bringing up to a good finish, a little loose, but a good swing and very functional. Now he's got his game back together. Jones will be playing alongside the big stars.
I just respect anybody that could play out here. It was really my first year out here in 82 was, you know, the first tournament, Tucson Open. I was out here, and I remember hitting balls in between Trevino and Watson. And, you know, to me, that was just like, wow, you know.
If you had to give a speech to the qualifying school of next year, what would the theme of that speech be?
Don't get discouraged, and just because you're not on the tour, you know, you can play other golf tournaments. And a lot of the guys that are out here and are successful now, a lot of the younger guys, you know, they had a rough go at it. There's always a rough go for everybody starting to get on the tour. And I think, you know, if you do work hard, you can achieve what you want to do.
28 years old, he's been on and off the PGA Tour since 1982. He's already made over $37,000 this year. Now making his home in Phoenix, Jones is on his way to his best year ever. Steve Jones, the new breed.
Nothing wrong with that ethic of working hard. The MCI Heritage Classic, the new breed update tells you that Steve Jones is atop that leaderboard at -13. Mark Wiebe, Love, and Sowers. We go to 15.
year on tour has this for birdie and a share of the lead. Like so many before him, they've just played too much break. Davis's best finish last year was a third at Canada. Fast becoming a complete player. And he may be a nicer young man than he is a good player as well. Scott Hogue needs this to save par. .218.
Mark Weeby's second shot. He's playing with Ray Floyd and Fuzzy Zeller, but Weeby is the story. Maybe he won't be the story.
He hit it in the bunker. He was 190 yards. The hole today is playing so much longer, and he is in deep trouble to make par.
That was a 2-iron back to 15.
Well, that was a solid par for Davis, who tee to green has been almost perfect today and not putting any undue pressure on himself. When you're in this contention this late in the tournament, you don't want to be missing greens. Let's go back to 18.
Wind against the players today has been all day, and this is a different hole.
Well, there's no trouble in trying to hit the ball off the tee of the driver because you can't drive through the fairway today. There's a good look at where they drive. It's a wide fairway to drive to. It's just you have to watch going long all the time.
Well, that's the way it's played so far. 51 birdies, 51 bogeys. Playing conditions, temperature 74 degrees, humidity 69%. Big factor is the wind, and it's against them at 18. We go back to 17.
Mark Kalkovecchia just completing his par 3 here at the 17th hole. Leaves him 2 shots off the pace as he goes away to the 18th. Let's go back to the 15th.
Well, we've got problems for our leader, Steve Jones, who hit his tee shot well left of the landing area, and his second shot now is way right. Ball appears to be sitting well. That's hard pan over there. It's a combination of pine straw and pine mulch. He has what appears to be an unobstructed shot at the green. Now, he's got to keep the ball down under those oak limbs. No, he doesn't. He has to bring it from left to right. Now, he'll have to start the ball out over the water and toward that large pine that you see just off his right shoulder. And you get a good look back from this green to where Jones' second shot has come to rest. Remember now, he has a 1-shot lead over 3 players. Weeby, Love, and Sowers, all 12 under. You just don't want to do anything without thinking it through. Now let's go to 16.
16th tee, Davis Love with a driver. Well, he's just going to cut it as far as he can up the fairway. I don't believe he's hit the driver here. But he's hit it absolutely perfect. Gibson is a long, long way. The wind's against him here. The players can't feel where the wind is coming. Let's go back to 15.
He's probably going with a 5, maybe a 6 iron. This will have to be low and from the left. That gallery is awfully close on the right. But the ball sitting on that hard pan, which makes it easier to both knock it down and turn it one way or the other.
Go, baby, go!
Watch this. Well, if there was any question about Steve Jones and his ability to play under pressure, that might have put some of them to rest. Those are the types of golf shots that win golf tournaments. Staring bogey or worse in the face, he has a putt from about 4 feet for birdie. 218.
Mark Wiebe just a minute ago out of that bunker. Back to 15.
Mark Hayes now from about 90 yards. Third shot. Didn't like it when he hit it. You'd never know it by the result. Mark needs a good tournament. I think something flew up in his eye. Mark is currently 138th on the money list. Winnings about only $11,000. Sowers has seen where Jones' ball is. He has to put it close. He has to make birdie to remain only one back. Stuck it in the ground, and that's what happens. So Steve Jones, with a heroic recovery here at 15, still enjoys a one-shot margin over 3 players at the MCI Heritage Classic.
McDonnell Douglas builds the F-15 Eagle, fighter and attack plane in one. From aircraft to trucks to medical equipment, our lease financing conserves capital. Airlines watching their bottom lines are choosing our new long-range MD-11. We're giving America its money's worth in aviation, space, and information systems. We're McDonnell Douglas. For the men who earn a living by being good on their feet, comfort and support from a great pair of shoes can make the difference between lunch money and prize money. So it should come as no surprise that 8 out of 10 pros who walk to work every day walk to work in FootJoy golf shoes. FootJoy.
The Honda Accord, the Honda Civic, the Honda Prelude, and now the 5-speed mid-engine overhead valve Honda riding mower. It transforms cutting the grass into a memorable Sunday drive. The Honda riding mower. It could be the car of the year.
Now I gear my game toward one thing: winning.
Wilson 1200 gear effect irons, proven more accurate than pain.
I hate to play safe. Now I don't.
Club so forgiving you can miss the sweet spot and still hit a sweet shot.
Now, I shoot for the stick.
Wilson 1200 gear effect. The effect?
More accuracy, more wins.
1200 gear effect by Wilson.
Don't forget, coming back, we're at 15 right now. Gene Sowers for birdie.
Pressure beginning to tell on both these young players. Gene from nearby Savannah has a lot of local fans with him. Local Savannaians call themselves Geechees, and they are here in full force today. Jones' shot obviously put the pressure on Sowers. But Gene playing awfully well. Strange irony this week. Mark Hayes' dad has been caddying for him all year up until this week, and he credits his good play with his work with his dad. Just to pull within 2. Well done. So that group at 11 joined by Hayes. Should he make this, this would make the play of the final 3 holes so much easier on him. Obviously a lot of pressure as it is. This would give him a 2-shot margin. What a birdie. What a lift it must be as well. Steve Jones takes a 2-shot margin as Love and Sowers remain